Welcome everyone to Chair Yoga. We'll begin today by just taking a few moments to prepare ourselves for our practice today. So sitting comfortably in the chair, extending the feet a little bit out in front of you to take any tension out of the knees, and resting the hands in the lap. And then closing the eyes and dropping the gaze. And then turning the attention inward, shutting out the busyness and chaos of the day. Taking a moment to notice how your body feels. Especially noting any areas of tension or tightness. And then then we will take 2 deep cleansing breaths. So take a nice big inhale through the nose and exhale it all out by blowing or sighing it out. And one more nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And then soften the muscles of the face. Relax the muscles of the neck. And the shoulders. And then turning the attention to the breath. Notice the inhale and notice the exhale. And then we'll begin a nice even breathing, inhaling and exhaling to a count of 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And just continue with this nice, even breathing. If at any time it makes you lightheaded or dizzy, just go back to your own normal breathing pattern. And then we also set an intention for each practice to help remind us why we are here. So that may be a benefit you would like to receive, or just an uplifting or a positive thought or a phrase. So think of an intention that you'd like to have for your practice today. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. And we'll go ahead and begin the warm-up by turning our heads to look out over that right shoulder. And back to center. And turning to look out over the left. And back to center. Dropping the chin to the chest. And then picking the chin up towards the ceiling and jutting that lower jaw out. And coming back to center and dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. And back to center and left ear to left shoulder. Good. And back to center. And then we're going to do a little exercise for the back of the neck. We tend to kind of hunch forward, including that head, especially as we get older, but as you're reading, doing computer work, whatever it is. So these muscles tend to get stretched and weaken in the back of the neck. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. You're going to form an L with your index finger and thumb, it doesn't matter, whichever hand. Place your thumb on your sternum or on the breastbone here, and then place your index finger on your chin, and you're just holding your head in a neutral spot. Now, keeping your fingers here, use the muscles in the back of the neck and pull your chin back, almost like you're making a double chin. And then release, just let that chin come forward to touch that finger again. And then pull the chin back. You should feel those muscles working in the back of the neck. Good, we'll just hold for a second and release. And then try it again. Pull it back. Good, and release. Good. All right. And then we'll extend the hands out in front, open and close the fingers. And then some wrist circles. And reverse. Good. And then we're going to extend the right arm and have the palm facing up. And then we're going to begin to curl everything in. So start by making a loose fist, so you curl in the fingers. Then bend the elbow, bringing the wrist to the shoulder. Extend the elbow out to the side, turn your head to look at your fist, and then begin to extend it. So open up the arm, uncurl the fingers, extend the fingers down towards the floor, and then turn your head and look to the left. And just get a nice stretch here. Good. Coming back to look at center, release that right arm, shake it out. And we'll try it on the other side. So extending that left arm, palm facing up. And then again, just slowly kind of curling everything in. Bend the wrist, bend the elbow, bring the fist to the shoulder. And then extending the arm out to the side, turn your head and look to the left as you open everything up. Have those fingers now pointing down towards the floor and turn your head to look to the right. Good, and then facing center, release that left arm, shake it out. And then we're going to work the third knuckle of the fingers. So those are those big knuckles. So just keeping your fingers straight and together. See if you can just bend from that third knuckle. Called a knuckle wave. Looks like you're waving, sort of, but keeping the fingers straight. Just using those knuckles. Good. All right, release it down, shake it out. And then walking those feet back in if you did have them extended so you can sit up nice and tall. We'll do some shrugs. And then the next time you pick the shoulders up, roll them to the back. Good. And then extending the arms out in front, we'll bring the elbows and the palms together, and then clasping the hands. With your next inhale, extend those elbows out, lift the chin and chest, filling the lungs. And then with your exhale, folding back to center, dropping the chin to the chest. And then inhale, expanding back out. Exhale, folding into center. Inhale, expanding out. And exhale, folding into center. And then unclasp the hands. Keep the elbows together. And then with an inhale, widen those elbows out to the side. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, center. And last one, inhale. Good. And exhale. Release the arms down, wiggle it out. And then we'll start with the lower body. So extending that right leg, point and flex the foot. And then some ankle circles. And reverse. Good. And switch. Try it on the left. Point and flex. And then some ankle circles. And reverse. Good. Bring that left foot back in. Now, pick your right foot up just a little bit off the floor so you can do this little leg swing. So warming up the quad and the knee. Just a little swing. And then extending the leg, take that right arm and just reach your right fingertips towards your right toes. Good. And then come back, bring that right foot in, and we'll try it on the left. So just picking that foot up enough that you can swing it. Good. And then extending that left leg, reaching forward the left fingertips. Good. And release it back down. Now, for our hips, we're actually going to warm up the glutes. We're going to pay attention to the glutes today. We're going to be using them quite a bit. So, sitting up nice and tall, let's start with just the right glute or your right cheek. I want you to squeeze it and tighten it. You probably have to lean over a little bit. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Good. Keep going. Couple more. Just squeeze and release. Just that right glute. But also, this is a great exercise just to kind of help you pinpoint different muscles. Good. All right. Release it. Try it on the left. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Good. Couple more. Good. Last one here. Release. Now do them together. Squeeze and release. Both cheeks. Good. Great way to strengthen those glutes. And also to notice if you had an imbalance. Maybe one side's a little weaker than the other. You know, to work on that. All right. Relax it out. Then we're going to do a little hip walk. So just picking up one hip, bringing it forward, then the other. Work your way up to the edge of the chair. And then walk, do a little hip walk all the way back. Good. And forward. And back. Good. And then sitting about midway in the chair, then bringing the right arm to the outside of the right hip. You can hold on to the chair if you'd like. Inhale, sweep that left arm up, and exhale, then to the right. Release back to center, switch arms. Inhale and exhale to the left. Good. Release back to center. And then coming into a twist, we'll take the left hand, place it on the outside of that right knee. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale, turn and look to the right. Good, and then exhale back to center to release. Inhale, right hand on the left knee, and then exhale, turn and look to the left. Good. Release back to center. Placing the hands on the thighs, we'll do a spinal warm-up called cat-cow. If you do have osteopenia or osteoporosis, eliminate the cat or the rounding part of the spine. Just keep the spine in neutral. All right, we'll start in cow. So with an inhale, you'll bring the chest forward and then lifting up, arching the spine. And then with the exhale, you'll either be in neutral or rounding the spine, dropping the chin to the chest for cat pose. And then back to cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat or neutral. Good, and last one, inhale, cow, and exhale, neutral or cat. Good. All right, we're going to come up to standing, but before we do that, we're going to work it a little bit. I mentioned we're going to use those glutes, so we are going to use those glutes and hamstrings. We're going to do a little sit to stand. So let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to turn diagonally. So you'll want to do your hip walk up to the edge of your chair. So we're going to start by shifting the weight and coming up to standing. Now, if you're a little uncomfortable with sitting back down, just have the chair so that it's just touching the back of your legs. That makes you feel a little more comfortable. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this squat down to the chair, but we're going to go slow on the way down. We're going to tap and we're going to come back up. So it looks like this. You can do whatever you want with your hands. We're going to do a count of 3 down. 1, 2, 3. As we tap, then we're going to pop back up. Okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and up. Good. 1, 2, 3, and up. Remember to push the weight back in your hips, just like you're sitting down. 1, 2, 3. You pop back up. Good. 1, 2, 3, and up. Let's do 2 more. 1, 2, 3. Pop back up. Last one, and then stay standing. 1, 2, 3, and up. Good. All right. So now we've warmed up those hamstrings and quads and glutes. All right. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to put my chair over here, but you're going to come behind your chair. And we're going to do something. Oh, by the way, grab a drink. We always need to take a water break. So make sure you grab a drink. Right now is a good time. And then, let me just explain what we're going to do. So we're going to do something a little bit different. It's called a vinyasa. So there are a number of other yoga styles that use a vinyasa. All that means is movement to the breath. Some of them are very fast. Some of them are a little slow, but basically they don't pause between the movements. Now, we're not going to do that. We're going to have pauses in between. But it's always good to know different yoga terms and what some of the differences in the classes that are being taught. All right, so you're going to have your chair in front of you. I'm just going to keep mine on the diagonal here because I'll show you how we're going to do the ending, but I don't want it to block the view in the front. So go ahead and have your chair in front of you at any time. Hold on to the chair if you need to. All right, so we're going to start in Tadasana, keeping the legs hip-width apart, feet parallel with one another, finding those four corners of the feet, tightening the front of the thighs, lift and tighten the abdominals, bring the arms alongside the body, a few inches away from it, palms facing each other. Focus on the spine, lengthening up from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Pick the shoulders up, roll them down the back as you lift the chest. Good. And then remember that little exercise we just did for the neck? Keeping the chin parallel to the floor. See if you can pull the back of the neck back a little bit so that your ears are stacked over your shoulders. Chin stays parallel to the floor and you're gazing forward, taking a few breaths. Good. All right, so we're going to begin our little vinyasa. We'll start with the right side and then we'll move on to the left. So with an inhale, sweep the arms up. You're going to take your left index finger and thumb and grab the back of the right wrist. And then with the exhale, we'll bend to the left. So stretching that right side of the body. Good. Inhale back to center. Go ahead and release your arms. And then we're going to widen our stance. So you want your feet wider than your hips. And then you're going to turn your toes out a little bit, maybe about 45 degrees. Inhale, bring the arms up to shoulder height. Bend the elbows, have your palms facing forward. With your next exhale, bend your knees. So you want your knees pretty much in line with your toes. So you can see that's why we turned our toes out. As we come down into goddess pose. Good. And each one will take about a breath or two. Good. Then with the inhale, go ahead and come on up. Release the arms. Take that left foot, turn it forward. Continue turning the right foot out as we come into warrior two. So bending that right knee, turning from the waist to face forward, bring the arms up to shoulder height. Good. And then turn to look out over that middle right finger. Again, about 2 breaths. With your next inhale, take that left hand, place it on the left thigh, and then sweep that right arm up, coming into reverse warrior. So your legs don't move here. This is all from the waist up. Good. Then inhale, bring the left arm back up, straighten the right knee. When you exhale, shift the weight into the left hip. And then as you reach forward to the right, bring that right hand down. You've gone as far as you can as we come into triangle pose. Good. 2 breaths here. Good. Then inhale, come on back up. Go ahead and release the arms for a second as you now turn the right foot about 45 degrees. Turn that left foot back at 45 degrees. Inhale the arms up as we come back into goddess. Good. Take a inhale and an exhale here. And then inhale, coming back up. Release the arms down. Take your feet, turn them back to parallel. You're going to place your hands on the back of the chair. I'm just going to move so you can watch. So you're here as we come into a wide leg forward fold. So extend the arms. Good. Take a breath here. Good. And then with the inhale, if you want to bring your hands to those leg creases, go ahead and lift the torso. And then just step those feet back in to Tadasana. And we're ready to try it on the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to move my chair over here. It's ready to go. All right, here we go. Let's try it on the other side. So inhale, sweep the arms up. This time you're going to grab the back of the left wrist. Good. Extend those arms up. And with the exhale, bend to the right. Warming up that left side. Good. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bring the arms to shoulder height. Step those feet wide. Remember, you're going to come into goddess. So bend the elbows with your exhale, bend the knees. Your feet are out at about 45 degrees. Those toes are out. Good. Take a breath or two here. Good. Inhale, come on up. Go ahead and release the arms down. We'll give them a little break. Turn your right foot forward. Continue turning that left foot out at 90 degrees. Then bend the left knee. Stack it over the ankle. Good. Now go ahead and lift those arms up, turning to look out over that middle left finger for warrior two. Good. 2 breaths here. Then with your next inhale, right arm comes to the back of the right leg as you inhale. Lift that left arm up. Good. And then inhale, bring those arms back out, straighten the left knee. Exhale, push the weight into the right hip. Lean as far as you can to the left. Then bring that left arm down, either on your thigh or possibly the shin, coming into triangle pose. Good. And then inhale, come on up. As you exhale, if you need to give those arms a break, just shake it out real quick. Bring your toes to 45 degrees with the left foot. Turn the right foot out 45. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, come back into goddess. Good. Then inhale, come on up. Exhale, bring those arms down. And then you're going to place the hands in front. I'm going to do it on the diagonal here so you can see. Make sure your toes are parallel with one another. And then coming into this wide leg forward fold. Good. And continue to breathe. Good. And then with your inhale, bring those hands back to those leg creases. Lift the torso. Good. And then go ahead and walk or step those feet together. Just shake everything out. So that was just a little vinyasa. Again, that movement to the breath. Some classes might do that like the entire class. They would do that sequence. Or hot yoga is 26 postures and they repeat it. They just hold it for longer. So those are just some different styles of yoga. We're now going to use our chair. So coming behind the chair, we're going to come into twisted triangle. So hopefully you're all warmed up from your vinyasa. So we'll start by shifting the weight over to the right leg, bend the left knee, step the left foot back, and then press that left heel down. Now, if you can, keep that right knee straight. If your hamstrings are really tight, then just keep a little bend in the knee. Turn the hips so that they're facing forward. Take a nice big inhale, and then with the exhale, begin to bend from the hip. Place the left hand on the back of the chair, and then you're going to begin to turn to the right. So those lower left ribs are going to turn first. You can either place your right hand on the right hip and just turning and looking to the right, or extending that right arm up, whatever's most comfortable for you. And focus on squeezing those inner thighs towards one another. It'll give you a little more stability. Good. And then exhale, release that right arm, bend the right knee, step that left foot forward. All right. I'm going to pause here for 1 second because, okay, I was going to say, Beth, you were unmuted, and if somebody gets unmuted, then if you make any noise at all, it blacks the screen out and I can't use the recording. So I just wanted to make sure that you were muted. All right. Let me get my pause in here because now I'll have to edit this. So, all right. Let's try it now on the other side. I'm actually going to turn my chair so you can see me do that. All right, let's try it now on the other side. So shift the weight over to the left leg, bend the right knee. As you step it back, you're going to press the heel down and keep the left knee straight if you can. So it's not a big stance. If you need to shorten it, go ahead and do that. The hips are squared to the back of the chair, so you're facing the back of the chair. Inhale to lengthen, and as you exhale, you're going to bend from the hip. Begin to come forward, place your right hand on the back of the chair, and then begin to turn from these lower right ribs. And now you're going to be facing to the left, possibly putting that left hand on your hip or extending it out. Okay, and taking a few breaths here. Good, and then with your exhale, go ahead and release that left hand down, bend the left knee, step that left foot forward, and go ahead and walk it out. And then we're going to just do a little balance posture here. So coming around the right side of the chair, have the chair on your left side. So we're going to shift the weight to the left leg, and then we're going to take the right foot and see if you can bring your right heel to just in front of your left toes. So you're making a really narrow base of support. And then keeping a hand on the chair, you're probably already kind of wobbly a little bit. And that's okay. That's okay to be wobbly. See, maybe you can put just your fingertips on the chair. So this is a great thing to practice. You can even do it along a wall if you've got a wall at home. just doing this heel toe walk. We're not going to walk right now because I don't have a lot of room, but that's something you can do. We're just going to stand for a moment. You can put your right hand on the right hip. You can do that with your left hand. You can bring your arms out to the side like a tightrope walker, if that helps. But we're going to try to challenge ourselves a little bit. So let's take our head, take your eyes off of center and look to the right. Good. And then come back to center, because you know I always tell you to find a gazing point because that helps you balance. So when you challenge yourself there, it's a little harder. Now I want you to look up a little bit. You don't have to look all the way up, but just enough to take your eyes off that center. See if you can balance here. Maybe again, it's just fingertips on the chair. Good. And coming back to center. All right. Go ahead and change legs. You can still stay on this side if you like, or go around the other side of the chair. It doesn't matter as long as you have something you can hold on to. All right. So just getting your balance here. Take a moment just to keep the gaze forward. Good. Keeping your hand here. Now look to the left. See if you can balance. Good. Come back to center and then take the eyes up, just towards the ceiling a little bit. You don't have to drop your head all the way back. Just take the eyes off of center. Good. And then come back and release. Let's shake it out, walk it out. All right. And then grabbing a drink, and we will come back to sitting in the chair. Situated here. So I'm going to turn a little bit to the side for the next thing we're going to do. So we're going to work the core, which is also really important for balance. So we're going to do what's called a reverse tabletop. Now we have different options with that, but you'll want to come up towards the edge of the chair. And then placing your hands a little bit behind you. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to lift our hips up off the chair. So you'll feel this is going to go into your wrists and your shoulders. It's a great way to build upper body strength. So maybe just a lift and lower. Try this a couple of times. Make sure you're comfortable here. A lot of people have issues with their wrists, so it might be uncomfortable on your wrist, so make sure that there isn't pain or anything, but it is also a good way to build strength in the wrist. But if that's too painful, then just eliminate this particular pose. All right, if you're okay and you're all right lifting here, then you're going to walk your feet forward. And the next time you lift your hips, see if you can slide them off the chair. So forward and off the chair. The key is by moving my feet forward, do you see how my knees are now stacked over my ankles? So I don't want my knees going past my toes. And then from here, I'm going to try to lift my hips a little bit and look up. So it's like that table pose that you would do on the floor. Good. And then slide those hips back in, relax it out. So you're either here, just practicing lifting those hips. If you're okay, then we'll try this. Shift the hips forward. Good. We'll lift the chest. Also building strength in the arms and the shoulders. Continue to breathe. Good, and then with your exhale, slide those hips back. Go ahead and walk your feet back. Release your hands and shake it out. I know that's a lot on those shoulders. And maybe this isn't the best chair, whatever you're sitting in. So try it on a different chair. You obviously want a sturdy chair with a sturdy seat, but maybe a padded seat would be a little better on your wrists. Just do a couple wrist circles. Good. All right, so facing forward, we're now going to step the right leg out to the side and then go ahead and bring the left leg over to meet it. And then turn your hips so now you're sitting sideways in the chair facing the right. And we're going to come into a chair twist. So with a nice big inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, begin to turn to the right towards the back of the chair. You can bring your hands on either side of the back of the chair and looking out over that right shoulder. And just continue to breathe. Good, and then releasing, facing the right again. Then we'll take those legs, swing them around all the way over to the other side. Good, so I've shifted my hips, I'm facing to the left. Take a nice big inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, turning now to the left. Hands come to the back of the chair, looking out over that left shoulder. Good, and then releasing the twist, go ahead and swing the legs back so you're facing forward. And then doing our little hip walk up to the edge of the chair as we come into a hamstring stretch in the back. Just a little bit so you can watch my feet. So extending the right leg out in front of you, the heels on the floor, toes are pointing up. Taking the left leg, take your left heel and stack it right on top of your right toe. So just like we did standing, only we're doing it seated now to stretch that left hamstring. So if you're feeling a good stretch here, then just stay right here. If you're a little more flexible and you'd like to deepen the stretch, then bending from the hip, just bringing the chest forward a little bit. Good, until you feel a deep stretch in that hamstring. Remember, there shouldn't be any pain or discomfort. And continue to breathe. Good, and then with the inhale, go ahead and lift the torso and switch legs. So now your left foot will be on the bottom and stack the right heel on top of the left toes. Good. And hopefully you're feeling a nice stretch in the back of that right leg. And breathe. Good, and then lifting the torso, go ahead and release that right leg. Now, I want you to come over to the right corner of the chair. So just step your right leg wide a little bit so that you're facing the corner of the chair. And then bringing your feet over to the right leg of the chair, just place your feet on the right leg so you can open up your knees. Just doing a nice inner thigh stretch here. And just taking a few breaths. This is also great to stretch those glutes. Good. And then go ahead and release. Bring your feet back down. Come back around to the front of the chair. And then a little hip walk all the way back as we come back into our pose of relaxation or Savasana. Resting the hands again in the lap, closing the eyes and dropping the gaze. Turning the attention back to the breath. Notice the inhale. Notice the exhale. After your next inhale, begin to lengthen the exhale. And continue lengthening each exhale until they become about twice as long as the inhale. And then focus on the physical body. Relax all the muscles from the feet all the way up to the crown of the head. Release any tension or tightness. Focus on the mind. Release any thoughts, worries, or anxieties. Yourself in a place that brings you peace. And allow yourself just a few moments to completely let go. begin to deepen your breath. And then start moving your fingers and toes. And then the wrists, the ankles. Slowly bending one knee and then the other. And keeping the body relaxed and the eyes closed for just another moment. Focus on the intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. And then we'll take one more deep cleansing breath. So take a nice big inhale and exhale it all out. Go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.